Hey, welcome everyone. Welcome to Caspio Labs. This is Ned. Good to see many of you. I do see that we have quite a few people in attendance today. Welcome back. Let's get all of the housekeeping items out of the way before I begin. If you're able to hear me, let me know that my audio is working and we can go ahead and commence and begin today's live stream. So welcome back everyone to our topic today, where we learn how to embed a YouTube video, Instagram video, and TikTok video in a Caspio application. Can you hear me? Okay, perfect. Hope you guys are having a good Monday. Hope you had a good weekend. I did a lot of home improvement, repainted a lot of the cabinets, installed new flooring in the bathrooms. So it was quite a busy weekend for me. But yeah, I'm excited for today's class because I don't know if you have a need to embed videos in your applications, but in case that you do, there are a couple of ways that we can do that in Caspio, and I have 3 different methods today to show you how you can do that. Yeah, for that topic, I like that topic. I was considering doing that myself. I do have quite a few videos on that topic on how to redirect the user to a specific landing page when they log in. And then based on their user permissions, they're going to be able to see different tabs on the website. So let's say I'm user A and I log in. I see a couple of tabs. If I'm user B and I log in, I'll see a limited navigation menu based on my permissions. So we can cover that. We use a little bit of script in order to redirect the user based on their role in the table. Need to improve my IG feed. Okay. I don't know if this is going to help you, but let's hope that it does. But anyway, let's begin today's live streams topic. Okay. So I'm going to show you an easier method first, something that I've done in the past. It doesn't use any JavaScript. It doesn't use any SQL. It's just standard features in Caspio. Here I have a submission form created. The idea here is when you fill out the form, you have to grab the embed code from YouTube, TikTok, or Instagram. And each one of these social media platforms allows you to grab the embed code. And what you're going to do is end up copying and pasting the embed code. So let me just give you an example. Let me go to YouTube here and let's just grab this video here. Okay. So when you scroll down here a little bit, you're going to be able to, I think it's under share. Yeah. And then they have embed. So what you have to do is you have to copy this embed code link that YouTube provides. Okay. So the end user will need to know that. You can provide instructions on the form on how they can do that, but the idea is now when you fill out the form, video title, something about countries, I cannot recall, and then you paste the embed code, category, I don't know, category can be countries. You hit submit, and then when you see the list of videos, you're going to be able to see that. So here's a Caspio data page. It's a gallery layout, and we have 2 videos embedded. And as you continue filling out that form, you're going to be able to see more videos listed in the gallery report. So this is the easier one. I've done this in the past. Let me show you how this is done in Caspio. Let's go into that application. Let's go to our tables. And let's open up the table. And the main thing that you need here is a field that's going to support that embed code. And obviously you want to make that text 255, long text 64,000 to support the embed code, because embed code is long text. Text 255 will not suffice. You have to go with long text in order to embed that code because it is quite lengthy. Then you have all of your other standard fields. You might have the video ID, provider, which is YouTube or Instagram, video title, category, date added, and date last updated. On the data pages, here's my embed video form, the one that we just looked at just a moment ago. If I click edit, it's very simple. We have my table, we have our fields, and then the embed code is simply just a text area so that we can embed that code or copy and paste that code into the text area. And then the report, let me show you how to render that video now on the report data page. Oops, wrong one. Let me cancel that. I need to look at my report. So I'm using a gallery layout. I don't have a search form enabled here. I just have a predefined criteria. I am not filtering based on any one of my fields because I want to be able to see all the videos from the table. Here are my fields. And then the most important thing here for that field, what you need to do is you need to render the value as HTML. By default, it's set to text. You have to render that as HTML, and then you have to enable all HTML tags. And that's how the data page is going to look at that embed code that we copied and pasted and convert that embed code into the actual video on the front end. Okay? And that's how you will go about doing that, using the embed way. Now, the drawback here, I need to explain this. Let's come back to the front end. This one here, I believe, this one. So I don't recommend that you upload your videos directly into Caspio because some of these videos can be upwards of 10 gigabytes and you are limited in terms of storage space in Caspio, how much data you can have. So I recommend that you use YouTube for your hosting to host the videos, and then you can take those videos and render them inside the Caspio data page. Now the problem here is, well, not so much of a problem, but there is a limitation because even if the video is unlisted on YouTube, let's say a user logs into your Caspio data page, they're going to be able to see the videos, even though they're password protected. However, if they right-click and copy the video URL, they can bookmark that video URL on their end, and now they can access that video at any point, even though they don't have to log into your Caspio application. So they're technically still public-facing. As long as somebody has access to the URL, they're always going to be able to see those videos, and they don't have to come back to your website in order to do that. If you make the videos private, then only you're going to be able to see those videos on YouTube when you log into your account. And then obviously the third publishing option is public, which is kind of like unlisted. It's always going to be a public video on YouTube. If it's unlisted, that's your best option. However, just keep in mind that if somebody knows what they're doing, they can copy the video URL directly from your data page, and they're always going to have access to that video. They don't have to come back to your application. Okay? Let me know if you have any questions so far. You can also have the video show up in the details page. So if I click on the link here, you're going to be able to see that in the details view. So I did the same thing in the details page. Here is my long text. That's the field. Render the value as HTML and enable all HTML tags in the details page. Now the second method is slightly more complex. The second method, let's come over here, is going to use a combination of SQL and JavaScript. Okay? And the benefit to using this method is when you're uploading the form or the video, you don't have to use long text or that embed code from YouTube. All you need is a link to the video. So if you go to that video and you copy the link like that, direct URL, copy it, then you just simply put provider, YouTube, video title, something countries, video URL, and then category can be countries. You hit submit, and then when you go back to that list of videos, here is the latest video that I added. I can click on the play link, and then it's going to open up that video this way. Let me go back to my list. So that's one advantage to using that is by using a direct link. So let me show you how that's done in Caspio. First, I need to show you my table because the table looks slightly different than the one that we just looked at. The main difference here being that the video URL now is text 255 and it's not text 64,000. Because the URL to the video will never exceed 255 characters. Okay? Because the entire URL can only have up to 255 characters. It's never going to exceed that. So now data pages. Let's see how that was done. So the add video is simple. Instead of using a text area, we have a text field. That's the only difference. But for this tutorial, we have two different data pages in order for this to work. So if I look at my latest tutorial that we came up with on our how-to, so I followed that tutorial exactly to a T. Okay, and I can tell you in about 5 or 10 minutes, I was able to get this working and have that list of videos that play link and to be able to embed the video, to play the video when I click on that link. So if you follow this tutorial, you should be able to do that exactly yourself very quickly and very easily. So let me just go through this very quickly. So we have inside that report data page. So let's come back here and let's edit the video list. Okay, tabular. So it's linking back to my table. Once again, for this one, I decided to have a search interface, just a couple of search fields. And then on the results page, I have a calculated field and the SQL, and all the SQL is doing, it's parsing that direct URL link to the video, and it's grabbing a specific pattern inside that URL. It's grabbing that ID of the video. All we're looking for the SQL to do is to extrapolate the URL and just isolate the ID on the video. So the idea here is to look at the entire string and only grab the ID to the video. That's all we're doing. That's all the SQL is doing in that calculated field. So each TikTok, Instagram, and YouTube will have an ID in the video, and all the SQL is doing is trying to find that ID. So in case of YouTube, okay, so when the video URL like YouTube, right? So it's looking for YouTube text in the URL. Then we look at the entire length of the string inside that video URL, and then the pat index is basically just grabbing the returns the position of the string, okay, the pattern of that string, and it's looking for the equal sign, and then any information after the equal sign it's going to grab, and that's basically the ID. So you can see the equal sign, and it grabs the ID right after the equal sign. And each URL to each one of these social media video platforms is slightly different. So if you're looking at Instagram, it's different. It's going to grab the ID after the backslash. And then the TikTok will have its own URL, and you just have to set up the SQL to find that ID inside that URL. Okay, so that's all that it's doing. And then in the HTML block, we are creating a link. Then when we click on that play link, it's going to take us to a web page, right, where we have the provider name and the ID, which is the calculated field up here. So let me go back to my how-to. Don't worry about this. All of this is doing is hiding the ID in the list. So when you're looking at the list of videos, I decided not to hide the column, but if you want to hide this column, you can. Just use the tutorial that we have here, okay, the style. Let's scroll down a little bit. So inside that HTML block, I have my hyperlink. Okay, so when we click on that play link, it's going to open up the video for us. And then finally, we have this long script that's creating an iframe to embed the video. So if it's YouTube, if it's TikTok or Instagram, okay, and when we click on that play link, it's going to open up that second data page where we have the video embedded. And the script is just embedding the video inside that data page. So let me show you that second data page that I have, which is this one here, the play. Click edit. So this is going to be an HTML data page. And inside that HTML data page, we just copy and paste that script. Up here, we're redirecting the user back to the list of videos. So if I go back to my example and I hit play, all that link is doing, it's taking me back to the list of all the videos that I have. And the final thing that we need to do here is, once you embed these data pages, so let me cancel out of that. I embedded both of my data pages in two separate web pages. Okay, so here, let me open up my notepad. I don't have any other HTML content here. This is just a clean page. So we have a video list. That's my Caspio embed code. We have the play tab, which is my Caspio embed code. And basically, it's just two web pages that contain both of these two data pages. So when I click on the play link, it's going to take me to a data page, this one here, that's embedded in my other page, my web page. Hopefully that makes sense. Okay. So in the front end, you can see we have the video list. That's the name of my web page. So let me come back here. There's video list. So once I click on the play link, it's going to take me to play.html, where I have embedded my second data page inside play.html. And we're just going back and forth between the two web pages. And then finally, the last thing that you need to do is just upload your web pages to your hosting provider, which is what I did using WinSCP, so that we can make both of these two web pages live. Okay. And now I can play any video. So I can play my YouTube video. I have my Instagram video that I can also play. Okay. I can go back, or I can go to TikTok and I can play the TikTok video. Takes a few seconds to render, but there's the video embedded. Okay. So this is using the embed model where you embed the actual data page into a web page, but you can also accomplish the same thing using a direct link. So with the direct link, it's the same exact thing, but you can see I'm using direct links as opposed to embedding that into an actual web page. Okay. It's the same exact thing that I just showed you guys. It's just using a direct link. So if I go to that in my Caspio account, let's go back to data pages. Here, I have the same exact two as I did here. So they're same exact data page, no difference. Okay, same exact thing. The only difference here is if I go back to my play, you will see how I'm redirecting back to my other direct link that shows me the list of videos. Okay, and in the other data page where we see the list of videos, inside the HTML block, I had the direct link to that other data page. So it's kind of just going back and forth between these two data pages using a direct link as opposed to embedding into a web page. Okay. So let me know if you have any questions. I hope this is not too confusing. I promise though, if you do follow the tutorial the way we have it here on the how-to, you should be able to do this yourself. It's not complicated. We make it super simple for you guys to just follow the instructions and use this in your own applications, I guess, if you will. But whichever method you prefer, both methods are here. You can use one or the other. Really, the main difference here is when you submit the form, how you're actually grabbing the video from that hosting provider. Are you using a direct link to a video, or are you using the embed code of that video? Okay, and then when you submit it, you have the ability to render the video inside a data page to actually display the video and not have to go back to the hosting provider to see the video from there. You can actually watch the embedded video inside a Caspio data page. Finally, you can password protect your data page so only people who log in will be able to view those videos. But as I said before, be careful because the videos at the end of the day are public. Even if it's unlisted on YouTube, it's still technically public because if somebody finds the direct URL link to your video, they're always going to be able to go to that video and not have to log in to your Caspio data page to find it. Okay? But how many people are technical enough to know? A lot of people are these days, even, when they go to that video. I feel like I'm seeing the video directly from Caspio when I log in, but if I right click and copy the video URL, now I don't have to go back to your website. I can just bookmark that link myself and have access to it at any time. Okay, so it's really good if you're looking to, use YouTube or Instagram as your hosting provider and then just use Caspio to consolidate and bring all the videos together in one place so that people don't have to go to YouTube and find them by searching for them. Okay, so if you're building like your own personal type of website where you want to bring traffic as well, just another place where people can come and review your content. One place is to have obviously your Instagram account where you have all your videos, but you can also create your own website where you can bring traffic that way as well to market and promote your brand and whatever it is that you're influencing in that space. Does anyone have a need for something like this in their applications? Let me know if you're planning on using videos, and if you were considering something else or doing a different method. But that's really all the content that I had for today's session, is explaining the difference between the direct link to a video and using the embed code, which is slightly easier because you don't have to deal with SQL and JavaScript. So if you are planning on doing something with videos, let me know. Hopefully I explained it easily for you guys to be able to digest all the information. If not, just let me know. I can go through it one more time. If you guys want some more clarity on something, I'm happy to do it. Otherwise, I thank you for your time. I hope that you enjoyed today's session. I know that I didn't make it look that visually stunning. It's really just meant to get the functionality out of the way, but just note that you can embed that data page into a nice container, you know, where you have your logo, you have all those nice things surrounding your website, and then when you click on the play link, you know, it's going to open up the video, which also you can embed into a nice container where you have all of your other logos, navigation menus. This is just as plain as it gets. I appreciate it. Thank you, King Capo. Good to see you again. King Capo has been a long-time Caspio user. And then, yeah, we can review the topics for next week as well. I think next week we're doing the PDF document generation. Thanks, Katie. Good to see you. Thanks, Didier. And then the following week, which the topic came from Didier, we're going to do the redirect. Okay, so we're going to set it up where we have 3 different users. When admin logs in, they're going to be able to see their own navigation menu with their own tabs. When manager logs in, they're going to be able to see different tabs compared to the admin. And then maybe when the employee logs in, they're going to see a limited number of tabs because they are the lowest level user in the application. So we're going to go through that. And I'll build that from scratch. I'm not going to have something pre-built. So we're going to build that together in the class. And then I'll show you how with your template, right? So when you download a template off the internet, each folder is going to be a directory, right? So you're going to have a folder for admins, you're going to have a folder for management, folder for employees, and inside that folder, you're going to have web pages that belong to that admin group. And then you're going to have web pages that belong to that management group. And then once you log in using a Caspio data page, you are redirected to that directory, to that folder, where the admin will be able to see their own data pages. Manager will be able to see their own data pages on the front end. But essentially, it comes down to having folders in your template. Whichever template you download off the internet, Weebly is not really good to use for something like that because Weebly doesn't give you the ability to have directories. Okay? But when you're hosting your own web pages, you do have that ability for your own folders, and the web pages will be inside the folders. And then based on who you are in the table, we can take the user to that specific part of the website. Okay. I've done a few videos on this topic, but we'll do a live session on that as well. I think it's time that we have an updated video on how to redirect. All right, I won't keep you guys any longer. Let me see, are the tabs Caspio data pages or HTML? So the tabs are going to be HTML. Okay, the tabs are always going to be HTML. And then Caspio is all the functionality of the app. That's where we get a chance to plug and play. So one tab can take you to a Caspio submission form. Another tab can take you to a report. Another tab can take you to a chart. So it's really just all HTML front end, but as you tab back and forth, you're accessing Caspio's data pages that are embedded inside a container in that web page. So the same data page can support multiple roles. The same data page can, yes, the same data page can support multiple roles as long as the data page is identical for each role. And when I say identical, I mean everything exactly the same. So the labels are the same, the fields are the same, everything is the same. However, if you just change one label or if you change one field to a drop down or a radio button from one role to another, you're going to have 2 different data pages. Okay? Because now the form looks different. the functionality is different. So you have to create another data page for that user role. But if the form is exactly the same for employees and management, then yes, you can use the same data page for both roles. And same thing goes with a report or a chart. That way you don't have to, build additional resources or use additional resources on the Caspio side if you can get away with just not having to build another data page because it's a shared data page between two or three different user roles. But could use rules to manage the visibility, get the role via authentication, visibility of fields, for example. Yes, there is a way to do that as well. I haven't built too many applications using the rules to show and hide. I'll have to play around with it. Somebody did show that to me a while back. If I'm let's say an admin and I log in, I don't like to use the rules tab for this specific scenario because the rules, when you load a form, I don't know if you've noticed this before, but when you load a form, sometimes you will see a split-second visibility before the field is hidden, and I don't like to do that. Not when it comes to what information I'm presenting to each user. In some cases, I'm okay with that if it's a form that's public-facing or something else, but sometimes when you log in and you see our conditional form, very, very quick, it's like a split second, you'll see a few fields that you meant to hide, and once that script runs, then we hide those fields quickly. I don't know if you know what I'm talking about here when I mentioned that. I'm trying to think if I have any forms public that I can show you that use that conditional setting. App examples. Let me think. Media, construction, calculator, operations, field service, sales, CRM, charts, financial. Any on the wire transfer form? Let's see. I don't know if you noticed that, but let me just. Did you see the email field pop up very quickly? Let me refresh one more time. You're going to be able to see an email field pop up split second, very quickly, and then it hides it. You have to check the box in order to display that field. I just don't like that because when a user. You never noticed that before? Haven't seen that before. I like using rules to help with role visibility. Also makes change easier, but interesting point. Yeah, sometimes if I'm an employee, if I logged in now into this application, I might be able to see what an admin can see very quickly, but it hides it. And the only way to then see it, I have to play around with it to see how that would work. If I'm based on the role, if I'm an admin, I have seen that before. You can use the authenticated field to show and hide things on the form based on who you are when you logged in. But maybe the method that I show on May 2nd might be better for you. So let's compare the two after May 2nd, and then you can let me know if it still makes sense to do it the way you're doing it versus the way I'm going to show on May 2nd. But if it's working for you and you haven't noticed that split second show and hide, then go for it. Just use that method. For me, the way I'm going to build this out, I actually do have an example, construction safety reports. So this application has two levels of users. We have management and we have employees. Right? But it's only using one login screen. And it's deployed on this page called login.html. So if I log in as a manager, John Doe, takes me to the management directory. So this is a folder, okay, manager, and I have a page called dashboard.html, and you can see links that we have here on the left-hand side that pertain to management, right? We can see the list of our employees. These are all of our technicians. We have reports. And then I can log out as the manager. Which, now that I look at it, maybe it's just delayed, but I should be able to log out here. Hopefully it does log me out. Because I wanted to show you the employee side as well. There we go. So let's log in as Corey. That happens to be our employee. And you're going to see a different navigation menu here on the left-hand side. Corey is the technician, so he shouldn't be able to see the list of all the employees. He or she should not have the ability to manage employees. But what Corey can do, he can see the list of projects he's assigned to. And if I look at this project here, now I can submit an incident report, which something has been disabled in this application, and I need to go back into it and find out why that's happening. So let me try to refresh here. Okay, never mind. So here's my form. So now let's say I'm on site and I'm working on this project and I need to file an incident. You know, it was an injury, job title, my job title, supervisor name, all that good stuff. You hit submit, notify the manager, and then the manager can log in, who happens to be John. He logs in, and now he's going to be able to see all the incident reports for all the employees. So even under the employee side, I can see how many incidents were filed by employee. I can go to details for Corey, and then I can see all of his or her incidents that have been submitted on that location, that site location. But there's your perfect example where we have two user roles, and based on who they are when they log in, they see a different navigation menu here on the left-hand side, depending on who's logged in. So that's basically what we're going to cover May 2nd. Although I will add one more user role so you can see 3 different user roles as opposed to 2. All right. And by the way, I apologize for the previous live stream. I accidentally launched a different live stream, and I was surprised because I only had about 5 people in that stream, and usually I average more than that. And I realized later on, somebody emailed me, I'm not going to say who, but somebody did email me letting me know, hey, where is the live stream going to begin today? Because we have 12 people waiting. And that's when I realized that, oh my goodness, I launched the entirely wrong live stream. So my apologies for that. We are human, made a mistake. But I'll make sure to double check the link that I click on next time I go live. Okay, so again, that is completely my fault for the previous live stream, and I apologize for that. Okay, so thank you so much for coming back. Hope you guys enjoyed today's class. We're going to have a session on document generation next week, which is long overdue, but we're going to do that where we map out the fields on a PDF, uploaded PDF document, and how we map out the fields back to our table so that we can download these PDFs. And I'll try to come up with some good examples for next Monday. Let's go Nuggets. Yeah, okay. It's going to be tough for them to win because the Warriors are very stacked and they have a deep team. You know, the Steph and Clay and Poole, the triple threat. They're too good from deep, and yeah, not enough firepower on the Denver Nuggets. So, thanks, Katie. See you next week. Thank you, Tracy. Didier, you as well. Thank you for coming back, and I'll see you guys next week. King Capo, you as well. And FB Serve, thanks for communicating with me via email. And yeah, if you guys ever have a new topic you'd like to address in the live stream, let me know. We will cover that. I just need to add it to my queue and come up with the content. So again, thank you so much. See you next week and have a good week. All right, take care. Bye-bye.